Welcome back to the 888 Poker Weber Cup 13 from the Barnsley Metrodome. USA claiming the first point of session 4 to take it out to 12-7 with that win in the Baker game. Slightly fortuitous, but as Captain Chris Barnes reminded us, the USA team happy to take any points they can get, and they're happy to have a bit of a safety cushion over Team Europe, who they believe to still be a very dangerous outfit. Well, next up it's Scotch doubles. We've got Barrett and Williams for Team Europe, the two Englishmen who've won PBA titles in the last US season. And they go up against Tommy Jones and Mike Fagan. Tommy Jones in particular, the man who just seems to love this single lane here in Barnsley. And there are some American fans in the crowd, and from RAF Mildenhall, and definitely on the side of the Americans. And I think, Cass, there are a few in the audience feeling like that today.
Yes, but not that many. Fortunately, I think there's about 550 rooting for Team Europe, and the other odd 50 maybe for Team USA. I'm sure there's a couple of neutrals in there as well. But there's the Stars and Stripes being flown from the Team USA Appreciation Society.
Scotch doubles then, about to get underway. It's a fascinating fixture and a fascinating way of playing the sport, something that these players are really not used to. So it does put a particular demand on them. But as always, the players try to focus their attentions on playing the lane rather than playing against the opposition.
Well, Simon, the interesting thing is that we've got 4 players here, all highly ranked on the World Temp in Bonner Station World Tour. Tommy Jones and Mike Fagan are ranked 2 and 6, and Dom and Stuart 10 and 12. So they're all highly ranked players on the world scene, as we know, and it could be a bit of a match of the day.
Well, the word Strike Fest springs to mind. Let's see if Dominic Barrett feels up to that, and he does. So nails his first strike of this game, and I wonder how long we're going to hang on to those potential maximums. I think Stuart Williams very relieved about that one, just to get things rolling, coming off a very tricky loss in the Baker game. And talking of that tricky loss, just joining us in the commentary booth, Chris Barnes, who by his own admittance got a touch lucky in that first game.
The first 2 were pretty good, but that last shot it gave him more of an opening than I'd hoped for, that's for sure.
And now the guys have had a look at this, even though it was a brief one. Do you feel that they're going to rack up some big scores in this game?
Well, I do. Mike is he's kind of settled in on the fresh. He likes him earlier on in the block, and so we're going to put him out first or second every time. We split Tommy and I up instead of bowling late, and hopefully that doesn't come back to burn us a little bit. But we feel like either one of us can bowl it at any point. And
that's wide, and that's sailing. It's amazing in its fractions to stay out wide and stay there.
Yeah, even though this is a 38-foot pattern and there's quite a bit more hook than we've seen in the other sessions, still, once you get it a couple of boards right of that tracer right there, it just doesn't make it back. You can get about 2 boards right of that now, and you can be a little firmer at it. But if it's still going right when it gets to that 45-foot mark, it has no chance.
Yeah, you're going to end up leaving 6 pins.
Yeah, this is a mess here.
Oh, that was a good try.
I actually thought that was bad strategy because you have such a tough time getting that sleeper pin, the 8 pin, when you shoot at it that way. He got all those and got and watch the 6 pin, the second one from the right. As it deflects, it's going to go right around the bottom like a ring in 10. That was about as well executed as you can make that shot. And honestly, he actually got robbed there.
It certainly deserved more than an open frame, didn't it? But that's the way the game goes.
If there is any good news out of that, it was on a strike, so they didn't lose much count there.
Bit of daylight then for Team USA as Fagan steps up. Oh, and gets the messenger across. He'll take that.
You've really seen Michael settle in and get a lot more comfortable as the Weber Cup this year has gone on. Last year he really struggled, had a hard time, never really got comfortable, and this year it started out a little slow too, and but now he's into a pretty good rhythm, and he's made a lot of good shots over the last couple sessions.
Yeah, I like the change-ups he made yesterday, and we were loving it in the commentary booth. Can you tell us, did you suggest spearing it in from the right-hand side, or was that him?
We'd talked about it actually in practice. I'd thrown shots out there from the right, and he knew the left was not very good for him at all. And so he and I talked, and we do that quite a bit. We live in Dallas together and practice on occasion together too. So he asked how good it was. It's good enough for him. He's one of the better players on tour at playing to the right. So he made a little blind move, and without him doing that, we don't win that doubles match for sure.
And of course, Chris, I'd like to emphasise how great a season Mike's had in Europe and the rest of the world, apart from the tour in the States.
Yeah, really over the last 3 or 4 years, he's been bowling extremely well in the European tour. You see another conversion by Dominic, but it hadn't transferred over to the PBA tour. And this past year, he put together a couple of new pieces, a few more versatility tools, and that catapulted him. Basically, if Pete Weber doesn't strike in the fill ball of the U.S. Open, Mike Fagan's the player of the year in a runaway vote, because he would have won 2 majors last year.
Tommy Jones setting up, looking for 3 strikes in a row to keep the Team USA perfect in this first doubles match.
Yeah, Tommy really went after that one. We saw him grab his hip just a couple of times. Is that old injury still bothering him?
He's pretty much healed up there, but occasionally when we get loose, he gets a little bit stiff. And you just watch him. He is just knocking the holes out of that right there. There you see 2 boards right of that last tracer, and it's already headed back towards the pocket. That seems to be the magic spot. If you can get just around that tracer with the ball going forward, you're in pretty good shape. Almost all the balls will strike from that spot today.
More action from the 888 Poker Weber Cup after the break.